CHFS presents Black Facts. Remember, recognize, represent.
Arturo Schomburg, born January 1874, Puerto Rico, historian, academia, namesake for the New York Public Library 135th Street branch for research of Black culture. Schomburg was born in Puerto Rico to Mary Joseph, a biracial Black woman from St. Croix, and Carlos Federico Schomburg, a German immigrant to Puerto Rico. Even before he was 18, Arturo had a strong love for history, literature, and art, and was a part of several youth organizations that had those focuses. But one day, Schomburg was told that Black people had no history, and knowing that wasn't true, he determined it would be his life's mission to foster the appreciation and collection of African American history. In 1891, at 17, Schomburg moved to NYC after studying history under Puerto Rican historian and abolitionist Jose Julian Acosta and historian Salvador Brown. While at NYC, Schomburg continued his life mission of preserving Black history and began describing himself both in the U.S. and abroad as Afro-Puertorriqueño, or Afro-Puerto Rican, as he felt it important that his identity reflect the wholeness of himself in recognizing the mix of African, Spanish, and Black Anglophile culture that made up his identity. Over the next decade, Schomburg's collection of Black literature from all over the world grew, making him one of the foremost keepers of collections and historic documents. People like Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston would visit his home to peruse his literature and materials. Schomburg also sat on the Negro Committee for the New York Public Library's 135th Street branch with Charles S. Johnson and was colleagues and friends with Marcus Garvey. Schomburg eventually sold his collection to the New York Public Library, which would be the base of the Schomburg becoming the leading public research space for Black culture and history. In 1929, he was asked by Fisk University and HBCU to curate the collection for their new library. During this time, he pushed for and created a reading room where any student could browse the collection. By 1932, when Schomburg left Fisk, they had acquired over 4,000 books on the global Black experience and were known to have the most prominent collection on Black global culture. This accessibility to all, and especially those of African descent, to Black historic documents, literature, arts, etc., was a major part of Schomburg's work and legacy. Without his love for and connection to the Black experience, many precious works and documents would have been lost, and many historians, researchers, educators, students, playwrights, screenwriters, and more would not have a home for their research when creating about the Black global experience. Thank you, Arturo Schomburg, for paving the way. We salute you.
Thank you for celebrating Black History Month with Coalition of Hispanic Family Services.